right, good night, good night, good night. Great to see you all tonight. Good night, as I say. Welcome to the conversation. 8
Yes,
p.m.
good night,
tonight.
all.
All right, everybody going this. How
Hey,
everybody going this
everyone.
evening?
Good, we're good.
All right. Good to hear
All
you
right,
all,
good night,
man.
good night, good night.
All
Great to
right.
see you all tonight.
So before we before we kick off, I just want to tell persons who are connecting right now, just begin to share the link to as much people as they could. Share to family, friends, enemies, frenemies. We on tonight. We're going to be chatting on a nice little discussion here. It is going to be quite interesting. All right, so this is not the norm, and I know people just want to. I believe it's needed right now more than ever. All right,
Yeah,
this is needed
agree.
more than
Very true.
ever. All right. Well, I know Chris. One of the items I want to check in is how people going right now in this the
But
era
of
of the
course,
unknown.
we must do the COVID check-in before we start. Make sure everybody mental faculties in check. Nobody's bouncing off the walls. Nobody's family is going missing because they can't take them no more. They lock them in a room somewhere. So how are you guys been facing this week? I mean, it's Tuesday, the week start. How it started for you guys?
Um,
Um,
the week has been okay so far. I mean, things are happening around us that I mean you could see certain adverse effects happening. I mean, personally, home things are okay, but I think you remember we were chatting before we came on air. I mean, we are looking at how things are happening in Trinidad and Tobago, and it is really now more than ever we need to make sure there's a local sense check in terms of where we are and what it is that we need to do to weather through this storm, because this is not just a Trinidad and Tobago storm. This is a
yeah.
global storm that is going on
Right.
right now, and it's unprecedented, right?
Very much so.
Never in the history of people mindset they thought they'll live through something as impactful of as this in terms of what is going on here right now. So I mean, it's just a matter of us trying to keep our head up and trying to weather through the storm. I mean, this pain is temporary. We just need to weather through it. All right, what about you,
Yeah.
Mike?
Um, I always say every week I really can't complain. I'm always looking for the benefit in this lockdown and trying to find ways to make the best of it. But I can definitely say that it has definitely begun to evolve, as in people's state of mind based on the pandemic has evolved and changed again. Um, as Trinidadians, for example, like you said before, Alistair, we need to realize it's not a localized occurrence, but it's a global occurrence. And sometimes we have this tendency to think that what is happening locally here is detached from the rest of the world. But the truth is that we are currently facing something that's happening globally and not just home. So we kind of have to heal alongside the world, and that is the trickiest part right now. Looking out at what is happening elsewhere and seeing even how much worse it is getting out there. It doesn't always give you much hope, but you have to always believe that something good is coming, and things will always get better.
True.
And I always say never stop planning and preparing for the good days. So
Yeah. Well, I know you had to travel today, Mike. When you had to go, did you find any like anxiety being around people, or the fact that
um well, to be honest, I think the okay, so most people would know that there are a lot of restrictions with flights to Tobago right now. With the restrictions, it is literally two flights per day,
wow.
right? One in the morning, one in the evening. That's it. So where I was hoping to go early and come back early, that doesn't happen anymore, right? I think, however, it me being out and about, even other than traveling, like on a daily basis, my level of anxiety is a bit lower. My tolerance is a bit lower, but my sense of safety is a bit higher. So I do more to keep myself safe than a person who probably thinking you're going to clean this and clean that. There are other things because I've been in contact daily with people. A lot of things I think about that other people who are home regularly wouldn't think about, right? So,
Touch
for
points
example,
and everything.
getting home and spin under your shoes and these kind of things, other people don't do
Right.
that, right? But it's something you have to consider when you know you're moving in certain areas. So there wasn't anxiety so much about the virus, but about time, because now you're on a clock.
Yeah.
That's and for example, my flight this morning was supposed to be at 7:30. It left at 6:30. So yeah,
Wow.
and when I asked, they said that it wasn't early, it was on time, because it can leave once it passed the time to leave, then it's late. Anytime before that, it's on time.
It's on time.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
get it.
yeah, all right,
I
yeah,
get it.
yeah, I will, yeah,
Wow.
we carry the two,
So that,
add the
I think,
one,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
then bring it down the other column, yeah. That's
yeah,
what you mean now.
okay, all right, cool.
I think that gives you more anxiety than anything else. Just
Yeah,
knowing
because
that
if you didn't reach
it's
before, if you didn't reach
unpredictable.
a little hour early, then what?
Yeah. So
Crazy.
that's the most part of my anxiety there was time.
Wow. Well, all right. Well,
Yeah.
tonight's topic we're going into we're going to talk about some money,
Yeah, we're gonna
right?
talk
We're going
about
to
the
talk about the home
money.
finance
Moolah.
makeover. Now let's have this disclaimer up front. We are not certified financial advisors. Please,
Exactly.
right?
Yes,
Any advice given tonight, please do your research before proceeding.
yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I know something that we actually spoke of early when we started the conversation was that a lot of people do they may be thinking about starting a business, but the very first business they're actually running right now is their household. And it's something
Yeah.
that a lot of
It
people
is.
don't look at, looking at the income of the household, looking at the expenditure of the household, how you're going to spend, how you're going to invest in stuff to help, keep the household running, just like a business. So we're actually going to take a peek behind the curtain tonight as into how we can look at the finances of your home and help you keep things in check. All right. So I know, Alistair, I want you to lead the way with this guy. I know you have some hot topics to drop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, I want to make sure put this disclaimer out there. We are not financial advisors. This is based on our own experiences. Okay? Please do not believe that what we're trying to do is to tell you it will get you rich in 6 months and all this kind of thing like that, and you'll be driving
Correct.
a BMW with your
Right.
Audi on the side and all this thing like that. One time I'm putting out that disclaimer there. That is
Yeah,
not the
nothing to do
case.
with financial people,
No, we're not doing that.
people, or anything of the sort. Right.
Everything that we're going to be speaking about here is on the assumption of at least starting off with your present income that is coming in your home. That is where we take into discussion here. However,
Yeah.
you look in terms of earning an extra income, I mean, we'll chat about that briefly, but we're not going to dive in terms of how we're not going to go deep dive with respect to make any money. We're going into the area of the management of your household, the makeover that you need to do with respect to, especially now. Right now, we are in a global financial uncertainty at this time. And we need to have contingencies in place if things start to go south. All right. For some people, unfortunately, things started going south months ago. All right. Let's be realistic about that. It's not something that we stick our head in the ground and don't know. For some persons, things have gone south months ago. Some persons got their hours cut back, salaries cut back based on how things are going. I think if your persons are here and a couple of the malls are up for sale now because persons are not there. Is a number of different things are occurring. And employees, persons, etc., have been affected by this.
Right.
Some people have not reached that point as yet, but we had to be able to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. All right, so some of the things that we need to think about with respect to finances and everything like that is we had to be able to have proper financial intelligence. Financial intelligence is something that is key. And what do I mean by that? You had to be able to think in terms of how you use your finances and how you treat your finances. backtracking many moons ago when I now started working, I spend money like an idiot. I am telling you all straight, like an idiot,
Let's not
spending
talk about
money.
that. Let's
All
not talk about
right, and what I mean, I mean, I'm guilty of it. I'm being
Yeah,
really real with you all here. And what I mean by that, yes, you now started working is your first job. You maybe start working, your friends and them and start working yet. All of a sudden you rich, you want to take everybody out and buy this and want to
oh
lime and
yeah,
do a whole set of thing like that. And in my early days of working, I was living like a baller for the first week
that. And then ball for the second.
and balling the second week. You
That
understand?
is good.
And scrunting it. Watch me. It was I was clawing my way for when the next mountain reach to start that cycle all over again. Ball in the first, boy, I ball in the first week, ball in the second week, and scraping to reach. And that was a vicious cycle that was going on. I don't know if anybody had those kind of experiences when it now started working, or they were, or you all
Well,
were very wise with your money from the beginning.
well, here's the thing. I don't know about the spend on people part, but I have a few watches in my collection, you know, that is not the average. So I spent on
I think
me.
it was shoes.
I spent on me. Even I remember my first one of my first thing I wanted to do was to get a silver Figaro link chain and a Wu Tang pendant. You know, that is that was just the thing. Unfortunately somebody stole it.
Oh gosh.
you know, broke into the house and stole the actual chain, my very first chain I bought with my first salary. I'll never forget that. To have my own little piece of jewelry. So, yeah, but I spent on myself. Yeah, the people thing.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was,
Well, I mean, spending is still spending people.
still spend it.
You're
Yeah,
just spending
yeah.
hard.
But yeah,
I,
that's a habit that people.
I was a clothes and shoes kind of guy, boy. So my first salary went literally into clothes and shoes. Like,
I
I
mean,
had shoes to match whatever I had to put on. I had a shoe to match it. So
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So I lived like a baller. I emptied some stores, man, and then was
You.
balling afterward.
Yeah. Because I think the mindset what was happening at the time is that I work in, I go make back that money. And sometimes we're
Yeah.
not thinking in terms of it, in terms of where the money going. All of a sudden we surprised when they try to swipe and they say not enough funds. You
Yeah.
know? We like, how that happen? Well, I could tell you, spend out your money. Okay?
Correct.
And I think that is a big problem that's going on there
Yeah.
because a number of us may not have been taught really how to effectively leverage money. We just become heavy consumers as soon as we start working. We didn't have when we were small. Okay, we could buy it now. We go
Yeah.
and buy it. We want the shoes. We want this. We want that, and we'll just go ahead and do these things. But as as you start looking towards the future, you realize that those kind of habits is not going to help you build your home. It's not going to help you build wealth. It's not going to help you build some bit of stability with respect to managing your finances. And then
Correct.
you may have opportunities that will be missed because it didn't have the finances and the emergency funds put aside to be
Yeah.
able to make that to capitalize on an opportunity. And this is what we're going to be talking about today. Um, is just about maybe four major areas just to give people a sense of what they need to do and how to do it with respect to giving themselves a, how I should put it, like a financial facelift or a makeover with respect to it. Again, this is not something that is instant. It's not going to be instant.
Right.
Don't
Correct.
expect that by the first month it's going to be perfect and by month 2 years a millionaire. That is not the case. This is going to take a lot of discipline. It is going to take time to do, but at the very least, once you start, all right, and you may slip up along the way, but once you start and you keep consistent with it, you're going to see certain things grow within how you take care of particular things. And I'm talking in the scenario of not only for persons who know how to work. It may have persons who are online right now who you maybe have certain monthly payments to make to cover certain debts. Like you bought a vehicle, you want to pay off a vehicle quickly. You may
Yeah.
have furniture you bought in courts. You may have things that you're buying and you have to be making monthly installments and all of these things like that. And we want to
Yeah.
just kind of chat on these areas and look at what it is that you can do to push ahead and to try to make some um, semblance in terms of what you can do. All right. Um, the first thing the first thing I want people to look at, the first thing that you need to do is set up an emergency fund. And let me be real specific in terms of this. When I say emergency fund, put aside about, and this is not going to be on a one shot. Try to put aside an emergency fund about $4,000. Starting with that. All right, very specific in terms of the figures. Reason being, your emergency fund is something that you'll go to when is life or death, in a matter of speaking. Wanting a shoes for a wedding is not life or death. Wanting to bring down something through Amazon for the purpose of having it in your home is not life or death. Buying gas to go in the gas station to fill up a tank in the car is not life or death. That is not that is not what emergency fund is. You want that emergency fund had to be something liquid. And what I mean liquid is cash that you can get your hands on quickly to get certain things done in terms of emergency. Let's just say there's a medical emergency at home, or there's something that you need to do, and you need to be able to get your hands on cash quickly. If it is that your finances are tied up in bonds or mutual funds or other type of assets or anything like that that is not liquid, it's going to take you a while to get to that fund. You want to have something emergency that you can grab immediately and be able to use. The reason why I say 4,000 really to start off with is in the event of any kind of, because things could happen along the way. A monthly payment is not an emergency fund. That is not an emergency. That is something you want to put aside. That particular amount that you want to put aside there. Now, how to be able to do, how to get to that particular point is the B word. If anybody in the comments below can tell me what the B word is, I know all them will be heard before, but what is the B word that we talking about here?
Not Barbados.
It's not Barbados. It's not
Right.
being a baller.
Not Blanchishes.
And it's not balling.
Right.
It's budget. It's budget. Now, why I had to emphasize on the word budget is that you need to be able to visibly see exactly how it is that you're going to spend your money and where and what is coming in. So in other words, you need to know what is left over in your account, what it is that you have coming in terms of income, and where it's going. That is so important because a lot of times people just get paid and they just swipe through that card like a ninja. And it's only when I say not enough funds, all of a sudden they're keeping the receipt in the hand to watch and they're facing disbelief in terms of that the figures where that went to, and all of a sudden they want a budget the scrums that left over.
Yeah, you want to
No,
budget.
no, we don't want a budget. No,
I'd survive on this until
Yeah,
the
boy.
end of the month.
What
You
boy?
know.
Today's the 2nd
Budget
October, boy,
reactions.
and it's $500. I don't how to try to make that do, boy. You know?
But that's the thing, and we actually touched on this before. Do people look at the expenses of their household and actually create that visible outline, like literally write down what are your expenses for the month, right? Because this is what will help you as well determine what your emergency plans should actually reach. Because it's if you lose let's say you lose your main source of income, you need to be able to cover your expenses for a particular period before you find a way to get back some income source, right? So I always say prepare for long, right? So you maybe have them short. Don't prepare for short, and then it go longer. So if it's like this, prepare for 9 months, and if it lasts three, great. Then preparing for 3 months, and then it lasts nine. You know, you don't want that to happen. So it is good to actually write down what are your expenses every single month, right? Write an overview of it. Some things may come and go as payments clear off, as debt. So have that. I always say 9 months because, like with like life, like a pregnancy, it takes 9 months to make a child. That transformation to happen. So I always like to put things at 9 months because you need. Because all right, if you're looking at building a habit, 50 days is a habit, 60 days is discipline, 90 days is a lifestyle. That's 3 months alone right there, right? So to duplicate or replicate, sorry, that method, we're looking at least 3 times that. It's like 369. So it's a good formula to look at to actually build that. So at least 9 months.
Exactly.
You can start to have a goal, and you can start at the $4,000 as a lump sum,
Yeah.
or building that. But budgeting, yeah, you have to start with looking at your finances.
Exactly.
Yeah, expenses. Sorry.
Exactly. How to look at the expenses. Look at how much your savings is, how much you're spending on housing or rental, your utilities, like your lights, your water, your phone, your cell phone, all of these things like that. Food, transportation. Some people may have certain things like monthly insurance and stuff that they pay their premiums on these things like that. Then, other things will come after that. Like, you don't necessarily have to buy clothes every single month. It's not how that is tear out your clothes all the time. Right? You don't have to buy that every month. And people entertainment costs right now, I believe, kind of on the downside right now with respect to that. You ain't really going out as much as you're used to. So if you're still asking where your money going, again, look at it in terms of what it is that you're going to budget. So
I think that's a question I think people need to ask themselves right now as well. That
yeah,
given the current pandemic and given the fact that you haven't been doing some of the normal things you'll be doing financially with your money, as in spending on recreation, spending on entertainment, purchasing certain items, even transport, as many people are working from home currently, there's still people that are finding themselves in the red, even though expenses have been decreased
exactly.
or have been decreased. Because some people would find new ways to spend the money that was
Yeah.
meant to be spent.
Exactly so.
Right? So yeah, just a quick side note to everybody who's on. Because this leads into the budget, the topic that we on right now as in budget. Is there anybody who has, in this COVID period, still found themselves in the red, even though the expenses has decreased?
Yeah. You can just drop in the comments guilty as charged. We ain't gonna judge you. Alright? You can just put in the comments guilty as charged. That is okay. That is why we're here. That is why we having the conversation right now in the first place. Alright, so don't worry.
Yes, Andy, you have to eat. You have to buy food.
Yeah, we put food in there, Andy.
Right.
But you can cook too. You can cook home too.
Right?
Yeah.
All the pizza Tuesdays and the offers from Mario's and Church's Chicken. Ignore those posts, please. All right.
Yeah. So, we had to be able to be mindful of all of these things. What are the fixed monthly expenses that you have? So you know those for sure are the ones that will be coming out. All right.
Right.
And then out of that, tell yourself, based on it, you could know now, okay, what I can put now as my emergency fund and start putting there per month. You might be able to put $200 per month towards that emergency fund. If it is that you could only do that, it's going to take you 20 months to reach the 4,000. If it is that you're able to put $400 per month towards that emergency fund, it will take you 10 months to reach your 4,000, and so on and so forth. All right, and what I'm just talking about there is just your emergency fund. We haven't started tackling as yet your debt, because some people may have like monthly installment for the vehicle, monthly installment for furniture, monthly installment for whatever the case may be that you're paying these companies for to have the vehicle or to have the furniture or whatever the case may be within there. Which brings me to the second point of trying to clear debt. Now, there's a method that I actually tried out and it actually did work. It's something called the snowball method. And let me just elaborate on it a little bit. I'm not trying to sell anything here, but let me tell you how the snowball method is actually work. So let's just say, right, you have a couch set that you pay in. The couch set may have cost like about $5,000 and you had to pay a monthly installment of $200. All right. And then you have your vehicle that you purchase. And a vehicle right now is $1,500 a month that you have to pay. So that is a total of $2,000 in debt that you have to pay off, correct? Your vehicle is for, let's say, 5 years to pay off. Your furniture piece is a year to pay off. Just calling it, right? Now, what people is normally do, as soon as they finish pay off the furniture, whatever the case may be, they tell themselves, well, I have extra money now. I can spend on this. But you remember you already set up an emergency fund. All right? So you already have that emergency fund put aside there that you're saving towards. Your goal is really to clear off your debt as quickly as possible. Now, I know they have talks in terms of use debt. Yeah, there's only use debt if it's a business and it's investment that you're doing. If it's say a home, debt is not something that you really want to hold on to if it is that it's not bringing back money in return for you. So one of the things that you can do in terms of a snowball effect, if it is that you're coming down to the end of paying off for your furniture, you could call or talk to the car dealership or whatever it is I have in play in terms of the payoff and say, okay, I want to start increasing the amount of money that I'm paying towards this. By that same amount that so you want to say by this date, I want to increase by that. Because you already adjusted your spend based on your budget that you created in stage one. You already adjusted your spend with respect to that. So now what you're doing, instead of paying $1,500 towards a vehicle, you're paying $2,000 towards a vehicle. That way now, you're able to clear off your debt some months in advance. For some people, if it is that you now start off maybe even a year in advance. Because it's very simple to say, well, I have $500 more now, I could spend it. But you see, you still have 5x amount of years to pay off for that vehicle. But what if it is that you have a way that you could, with the same finances that you already have, cut down that particular time period to make that payment?
Yeah.
And that is so important right now. A number of times people just fall into that trap. And guess what? They'll end up wanting to say, okay, I have extra $500 now. Guess what they're going to do? They're going to find something else to buy.
Love it.
Yeah.
And they're going to go back into that whole thing again of monthly installments in terms of doing something. And sometimes it might be a little more with respect to it, and they will tap into some of the areas out there. So imagine what you're doing right now. So imagine you're already paying, and this is ideal that we're talking about here. So let's just say you were paying your $1,500 towards the car, your $100 a month towards your couch set, and you were paying $400 a month at the time towards the emergency fund. So emergency fund reached the amount that you wanted to reach. You tell yourself, all right, I have that. That same $400, now you can allocate that to finish pay off for the couch set faster. All right, so you could knock off that particular debt faster. You finish pay off for that now. So you take your 400 plus your 100, that's $500. Added to your 15 that you have there now is $2,000 you're paying per month instead of $1,500 for that vehicle. You're still maintaining you still have an emergency fund that you haven't touched just yet, and you're beating out your debt much faster. Much faster. And it's something that I tried out and it actually worked. I mean, I was really tempted. I tell you, hey, I finished pay off for this, but I could do that. But it doesn't hurt to make a call, see what renegotiation you could do, and say, here, what, I'm willing to pay X amount to try to clear this off, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Find out about if it have any penalties. If the penalties outweigh it, it may not make sense. But if it is that it's a little bit of penalty that you may have to do, it's much better than stretching out a debt for a longer period of time.
Very true.
All right, it's much easier to actually take it from that approach because I'm not knocking any of the places that do furniture or whatever the case may be, but that is how they make the money. So even if people not buying furniture because they get money coming in every month because people have monthly installments to make, their cash flow
Yeah.
is nice in them stores.
Ridiculous.
Right? So you
There's
had to
also a
do.
trick that they do in those stores, but
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't know if people recognize it, where they give you the payment date before the month end, so that very few people will ever really have money on the date of the payment is due. So they always have interest to pay on the payment. So like, all right, you getting paid the second to last working day of the month, or even the 26th, 27th of the month, but your bill date is the 23rd. Right? So they move that, they do that purposely. So because unless you have money put down specifically for that,
You're never gonna realize.
paying interest on that cost. So that's a next little trick they do. So what you do is, if you do have to buy something higher purchase, which I'm kind of against, all right, but we know sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah.
When you do go to purchase, make sure you have them move your payment date to when you get paid. And that's across the board, not only for stores. You can do that with your phone bill, internet bill. You find sometimes it's off. It's like the cycle for their billing cycle is off, and you need to change it so that you end up having to pay.
Very off.
It's usually very off. All right, so yeah, we see you guys. We see you.
You see it.
You can't fool all of us.
Yeah, and I mean, no, as I say, and again, I put in this disclaimer: it's two steps are just talk there, and it's not something that will happen instantaneously. This is not something that will happen in 6 months' time. This is something that will start. This was something that will start developing and start seeing the benefits behind it as they go along. And step 3, Chris had actually touched on that just now. Step 3 is to really finish off that emergency fund. So check it out what happened now. So you was already paying $400 a month to put to that emergency fund that got you to $4,000. Now, after you finish pay off for the vehicle, because that would have been the last debt, you have $2,000 disposal right here. You remember originally you was using $400 to pay for
Right.
to create that $4,000 emergency fund. Now you have $2,000 on hand. Again, it's very tempting to pick up something else to make it a debt.
Yeah,
But what they could do-
about, boy, I working hard. I had to play hard. You know?
Let me reward myself.
Boil out. Boil out.
I'm a ball out now. You know, I have 2,000 extra in my pocket.
I ain't working real hard, boy. Every month, boy, I can buy some.
Right. So here where you how to do with that money now. And again, this is just advice. You could do what you want. But this is just some advice. That same 2,000 there, start putting that same 2,000 towards that original emergency fund there, and that is where you're going to be using to build your 3 to 9 month float inside of there, that if there are any expense, if anything happens, you're good for months going ahead if it is something happen on a job. And that is the real purpose behind an emergency fund. So imagine if it is that your overall expense per month is about $5,000 expenses per month overall with everything, right? I just call out a figure. And you are able to put aside now $4,000 that you would have originally been paying for car and this and that and the other towards this. And in about 6 months, you were able, you already had your 4,000 there, 6 months at that 5,000, that 30,000 plus 4, that $34,000 there that you have in that emergency fund. Put aside right there. You're still maintaining the discipline of your expenses and your grocery and all of these things like that. You're not changing your spending habits. That is the big, that is not a trick, but that is the maths behind it. Don't change your spending habit because all of a sudden now you finish pay off for this. Get that emergency fund put aside now. That is liquid cash that you'll be able now to say, well, okay, I could do something with this. Okay?
Yeah.
So you put that aside. It's really important. You put that aside. Make sure if it is that you want to do it for, you want to have, let's say, about a year float, that means you have to just put that money a little bit longer so you can have that within there. And it has to be for emergency. All right? So, like, if by chance your engine drop on your vehicle and you need that vehicle to go to work and think, okay, that's an emergency. Because you have been putting that money aside, now you could easily take that money now to fix the engine on your vehicle. And then guess what you could do after? Put that money back inside of there. So it may cost you,
Yeah.
like, say, $10,000 to $10 or $12,000 to fix your vehicle because of what went on there. Just call in worst case. That's okay. You was already saving that additional money. So guess what? You're spending money on that vehicle there. In about 3 months time, you put back that same money back into the emergency fund. Your vehicle running, you're back to work to be able to make the income that you're doing. Your emergency fund back in play. You didn't catch your skin and had to cut down on grocery and duck the man you're renting from, all this kind of thing like that. You didn't have to do any of that whatsoever. You are able now, because you started off some simple habits just from what we just talked about there just now, to tackle those areas. All right, and that is the so those three that we just talked about so far. One, start a small emergency fund that you can build up for real fast. Secondly, knock off them debt using that snowball method as I talk about. It could get done in a shorter period of time. And the third one is to finish off that emergency fund. For some people, if it is just going back to number two with respect to the knocking off the debt, some people just try to knock off the one to take care of time. Some people just do it based on interest rate. If the interest is high on something, try to knock off that first. That one is a little bit complicated, but if it is that you want to go that way, it's up to you. All right. The fourth thing that you need to look at as well is to put aside disposable funds. And what I mean by disposable funds is you already put aside your emergency fund already there. You have now to build your disposable fund. And what I mean by that, that is money that you may want to put aside in some investment or just maybe start off a business or whatever the case may be. Have a plan in terms of what it is that you're going to do. So if it is that you want to start off a business or invest in something as the case may be, you're not going to be touching your savings. You're not going to be touching the expenses that you have. And you already cleared off your debt. So that disposable fund that I'm talking about there is something that you could actually use to invest in some area or business, or if it is that you're going to do some build in terms of your services, or you're going to invest in some stock or going to forex or whatever the case may be, you could use that now. You're not touching your rent money, you're not touching your mortgage, you're not touching your emergency fund, you're not touching your food, you're not touching your gas, nothing like that. You are putting aside that money. And the thing about it as well too, as you start doing these habits, you begin to, in a way, start thinking a little better with respect to how you're spending your money too. Because once you start getting into these habits of spending your money like that and saving your money and putting aside for investment, you will want to invest right with your money because you know how hard it took for you to put aside that emergency fund and to try to clear off that debt, because nobody really likes debt. Really and truly. Anybody want to wake up and say, oh boy, woo, mortgage to pay. Yeah, I wish I could do this for the rest of my life. Nobody really wants to do that. At least I hope not. All right. So And now I'm not saying that we telling you how to invest your money. You could invest your money how you want. If you want to get two people, it's up to you. If you want to sell products to MLM and all of these things like that, it is up to you in terms of that. But either way, you are not touching your regular expenses. You're not touching the emergency fund, and you already cleared all of your debt in terms of what it is that you already had in play before. And all of what I'm just talking about here is on the assumption that you didn't even get a raise in salary and nothing changed with the income that is coming as yet. We haven't even talked about increasing your income. This is just talking your income as it is right now coming into your bank account, as the case may be. So imagine where you were from before. You were in debt, you didn't have an emergency fund, and you was balling. You was baller to balling to crawling, back to being a baller again. But now, because of some small steps that you have done so far, you reach up to that particular point. All right. I mean, I just
Right.
hope. Am I clear with persons? If it is that I clear, you can just put crystal clear in the comments. All right. If persons have any questions along the way, I mean, we'll try our best to try to answer it. But it's just some small advice that we put out there. Anybody have anything that they want to add in terms of what I just talked about here?
To be honest, in terms of the information, I think it's vital, and I would have seen a lot in the comments as well about financial education. Um, I'm a big advocate that schools should begin to offer financial education in a different way, because I mean, what the information provided tonight, the average person does not get. The average person does not understand what a budget is meant to do. And let's be honest, right? Going to school, we were always taught about accounting for purposes of employment, right? We were taught financial management for purposes of employment. We were taught budgeting for purposes of financial employment, for accounting, whatever else, but never for personal financial management, right? So a lot of people may have studied accounting, but they've never really applied it to their personal life,
True.
because it was always advertised in school as being for employment purposes. If you understand where I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So it puts us in a state of mind where it's detached from what we do on a daily basis. So we may be looking at books and stuff that tell us exactly how our income and expenditure account is set up. But we've never done anything close to our budget for ourselves, because that is work. For example, they always say shoemakers have good shoes, right? I've seen people who work in accounts and are always in debt,
Yeah.
right? Because they were educated for the purpose of a job, but not for the purpose of being self-sufficient and knowing how to take care of their own personal finance. So, like everybody's been saying, I think from childhood we should begin to teach financial management.
Yeah. I totally agree in that way. I really, because I mean it has messed up a lot of people, and people learn after the fact. After getting burned, people then begin to learn in terms of what could they do and what they should have done and all these things like that, because it was never taught. And then have persons who have still never um, totally learned from it in the first place, and
Yes.
they still continue with this particular cycle, and then their children see that cycle, and history repeats itself. All right, it doesn't matter what size your salary is. If it is that you have bad spending habits, you'll just have a lot of money spending very badly. All
Yeah,
right,
that
and
is definitely true.
yeah, and it just messes you up in terms of what it is that you want to do. And then when opportunities present itself where you want to invest or grow your income, you're not able to, because you're moving on desperation right now. And if it is a moving on desperation, it could fall for anything. And that is what has happened. Get rich quick. You're ready to jump on that because all you're thinking about is your debt and you want money fast. That is why it's so important,
Yeah.
as I said, to have even disposable income that they can use that towards investments, and even that and all they'll be thinking clearly about in terms of how we move forward and things. Chris, you have anything to add to that?
Well, basically, what my thoughts are is this: growing up, we were never, and even in secondary school, I mean, as a young adult, we were never told about budgeting. We were told about
Yeah.
saving,
Mm-hmm.
right? We were told about save your money, learn to save, learn to save, learn to save. That was like literally instilled into most people growing up. Your parents would always tell you to learn to save, and you'll have the piggy bank, and I think everybody had that piggy bank cash pan. You're saving quarters, you're saving your little $1, $2 down again, you know. But we were never taught how to then use that money to multiply.
True.
We never
Yeah.
taught how to apply that money to things that could create more. We were always given that you need to sacrifice this, you need to sacrifice that, you need to put aside this. But we never said, okay, put aside this to invest, or put aside this so that you can spend on whatever you need later
Yeah.
on.
Mm-hmm.
Put aside this now because one day you might need to buy a house and the down payment money you'll need. Simple things. Whether it's for a car, a house, all major life purchases,
Mm-hmm.
you need to have some sort of savings. All right, you need to have some sort of money to put aside. Yes, but if it is your budget doesn't help you create that outside of your emergency fund, outside of your savings,
Yeah.
right? And as you mentioned, the disposable income, or what I like to call the financial freedom account,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you don't have those things literally separated, then you end up dipping your hand in everything. It's like, oh shucks, this happened.
Yeah.
Dipping savings, oh shucks,
Mm-hmm.
dipping something else, And yes, Andy is right. You were taught go to school, get an
Get a job,
education,
yeah.
get a job, grow roots in the job, work for the 40 years, come out with your pension and whatever you save. And yeah, you lived. But we know that
Figure
is
it
no
out.
longer the case, right? So
Very
yeah,
true.
there's many ways, and I think as we're speaking about budgeting and allocating money properly, people need to be very disciplined in that fact. And if it is, I mean, there are techniques I actually have shown people and they've used it and it has worked. You can research it. It's called the 6 jars method.
Mm-hmm.
All right, where you actually put 6 jars, or you use 6 envelopes, and you literally label it what you want to do with it. So you can label one for emergency, you can label one for savings, you can label one for financial freedom, you can label it for education, you can label one for necessities. You have to actually label the jars or the envelopes specifically for what the need is for,
Mm-hmm.
and divide your money accordingly. All right, you can even have a jar for yourself, so you have a play jar, or for entertainment, so okay, this jar, the money from this jar is what I use if I want to go to the movies. Well, pre-COVID, of course.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted to buy a new pair of shoes, if you wanted to subscribe to Netflix, that is your entertainment, and you only spend from that. And that's where the discipline begins, where you allocate your money wisely.
Exactly.
It will help grow each part individually.
Yeah.
But once it is you
It's
guys
like-
thinking save, and there's no plan for your money, it's going to spend.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Even the savings, and Chris, as I mentioned that, like, I've been speaking to other people recently that spoke about the fact that with COVID, there have been financial cuts. People have lost portions of their salary, different things like that. But if you were to really look at it, right, there are people who say that they're trying to make ends meet. Right, we've heard that statement so many times over the years, trying to make ends meet.
Which end?
And if you have you've heard people say that after they pay all the bills, they have nothing left at the end of the month, right? Like zero. And I remember speaking to a particular individual, and I told myself, "Here, well, let's sit down and write out those expenses that they have. When you wrote them out, they were way less than her salary." So I said, "Well, how do you end up with a negative?" And then she's like, "Well, I just had to pay this, I just had to pay that." I'm like, "Well, those are expenses, you have to write those down too." And I realized that a lot of people, when they write out what they have to pay bills for the end of the month, there were a lot of things they leave out.
Mm-hmm.
and they don't even enter onto that sheet. So they put
Exactly.
things that I guess they say are the standard bills, light bill, telephone, whatever. But I mean, going to Pennywise is a bill,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? Getting a haircut, a hairdo, whatever, that's a bill,
Mm-hmm.
right? And these things take away cash, right? And people don't normally record those items. So when at the end of the month, you realize $500 just disappear into the abyss of nothingness, right? And you're wondering where it went. It went into small things that you never tracked.
It's
You
true.
know, people make small purchases, and like I said, it's discipline. That envelope method is one of the I think was one of the best strategies right now that I've seen to keep somebody mindful of what they are spending and what they're using money for. Because it's very visible, it's very hands-on. You know, people have a card and that card gives them power to swipe. So they swipe and then they realize that they can't swipe anymore.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
That's correct. I think you brought up a good point there, and that's my fifth point that I had here. It's just a couple of them, and I'll just finishing off those 6 points here because I know we have our time there. That the fifth point I was talking about is in terms of the education fund, and
Yeah.
why I speak about education is not just for your children with respect to education, but also you. Reason being, it may have you may want to do a particular course or try to finish off something, and that could help you with respect to if it is that you want to do it for a corporate job. It'll help you to get that promotion because you're qualified for it now, or the bit of education that you're doing for yourself will help you in terms of earning that extra bit of income to get more within a business that you want to start off on your own. Setting something else for setting something up for your children themselves, and doing it early. Don't wait for the children to reach 17 and then trying to scrape something together for them to go to college. Even if the children ain't come yet,
yeah,
start putting aside for them. So you want in a way because expenses, education expenses going up. Yeah? It is going up.
very well. Yeah.
All right. I mean,
That
gate
is so
close.
serious.
Yeah. So all of that going up. And if it is that you want to put aside for the education, you have to start now. All right? Don't wait for them and then say, okay, well, we'll try to pull together some money in a year. If it is that you start off with some small increments, you can actually do that. So you already have a disposable income money put aside there. Start using that money now to pack it towards education. So imagine now
It doesn't have to be much. It doesn't have to be much.
it doesn't have to be much, or even better, the same money that you are putting aside to build your investment now and you put aside that disposable income, use that same money now to build towards education. You remember we were talking $5,000 here? So imagine
Yeah.
you building that and you build an education fund now. So in other words, now you're able to
You don't
build
need gate.
an emergency fund, uh, a financial freedom fund with respect to your investments or what it is that you want to do, and you're able to build an education fund
Education fund.
and you're able to put
Yeah.
aside that money. That education fund can hit the five figures real easy, much easier as opposed to trying to do stage one that we were talking about there, where you're trying to organize your education and do all of these things like that while you're still in debt. It's a clear of
Correct.
the debt,
Yeah.
and you realize now that you have everything open up. And because now you already have the discipline in place, it'll be much easier to put aside that money now with respect to education and building that education fund for your children. All right,
Yeah.
and
No,
that
so
is
you mentioned that putting aside money for your kids, right? Just give an example. My dad, when I went from start common entrance, yes, common entrance, right? He started an account with Works Credit Ministry of Works. They are part of a credit union, Works Credit Union,
Union.
and he started me in the credit union, putting $40 a month,
yep.
right? As in Form 1. When I began to work and I wanted to get close for work and all these different things, he said, well, try to figure out how much you would need to spend, go and check out your account and see what you would need. Now, that's my first step of actually utilizing money from that account. That there was a happy moment when you see the amount in your account and you tell yourself, I could go and spend it. But then when you realize and you calculate, okay, that money was untouched for all these years. If I leave it to keep growing and I add into it now for my salary, where can it reach? So I would have taken out a tiny portion to use for clothing and stuff to start my work career. But then I literally began adding money to it for my salary. And that was really the money I went towards me buy my first car and all these different things. So you can teach your kids about
Yes.
financial management and investment if you start early enough. I know that's tell them, well, when they reach 18, they can do what they want with the money.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Teach them the importance of money.
Correct. And I actually I want to give women some kudos for leading that charge though. Fellas, I mean, let me read, right? I have to give ladies because I remember I have several friends, but one in particular, she at the time she didn't even have a boyfriend, right? But she had a savings account for her wedding. She wasn't even in a relationship. She was single. She was already saving for her marriage, right? I was like, what? Back then, I thought I was kind of psycho, right? But in truth of fact, I really, it's only in hindsight, like, yo, I had to applaud that because
Yeah.
she had a vision, she had a plan, and she knew she had to put aside things or put things in place from that point. And even to share example of stuff that I went through as well. When I was working for Ernst& Young, they actually have a fund that they deduct a certain amount from your salary from every month. And when I wanted to travel the first time to the US, back then you used to have to show that you have savings in the account, to sustain yourself if you're going across in the US to do anything. Unfortunately, that is the account I used to prove that I actually had some sort of savings and stuff here. So if it wasn't for that automated process of not me actually having to save for myself, but the fact that it came out automatically every month, I went into this account, I had that as well. So just as everything, like we said, all major life purchases and stuff, things that you need to do, it's good to have things in place to show, and be prepared. So the main thing with all of this, this financial education and literacy is about making sure you are prepared.
True.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
so true. Just to add on as well to a couple of things I want to add on. For persons who are tuning in right now, this actually ties into a conversation that we had a few weeks ago when we were talking about building generational wealth. It had to start
All right.
somewhere, all right? And I mean, it starts off maybe with simple saving, but don't look at it just the savings. It's also about the discipline as well, and where you effectively manage your money and where you effectively allocate your money. If
Correct.
you're able to effectively knock off the debt, you'll realize that okay, I have money put aside for any adverse emergencies. You're able now to build a financial freedom fund. You're able to put aside for education. Even you could go as far as even put aside for your retirement, because I
Correct.
mean pension could only go so far, Pension could only go so far. All right. So if it is that you start putting aside for your retirement as well, and you already have that discipline inside, you're good to go. And who knows if based on the discipline and everything that you have there and what you structure, for those who have mortgages, you may be able to knock that off even faster as well because you already have everything put aside for what it is that you need to do. So you're able now to renegotiate your mortgage and maybe able to pay it off in a shorter period of time. And,
Yes.
Right.
and all
Yes.
that start off from a simple step that we started off with emergency funds and coming up the line with respect to that. All right. And it's something that we really need to pay attention to. Start off small. You realize I just went one step at a time. Do not jump to step 3 and step 4. You had to start at step 1 and make sure that you get that in play. Then do step 2. If it is that you have no debt, then fine, go to step 3. And then that is how you'll be able to build your funds as you go along. I see
Correct.
persons shouting about it as well. Erlin from Deep South, Erlin Stanford. Good to hear from you, man. All right, in terms of prepping, doing cooking, all of these things like that. Simple things you could do in terms of managing your expenses of how you're going ahead. All right.
Yeah.
I see Diane spoke about managing your money and learning how to manage money, teaching your children how to manage money. And if it is, especially for, if it is that you have that discipline, even if you don't have kids as yet, if you start these disciplines now, your children naturally have that
Yep.
inclination because they're seeing their parents leading from by example. The parents are leading from in front and taking care of particular things from now. And if they're able to learn that by default from home, imagine what it is that they can put together now in terms of truly building generational wealth because it started off with your sacrifices
Yes.
doing it now. Don't just look at it as just what you trying to do for yourself. What it is that you're going to put in place for your children, your grandchildren, in terms of proper financial intelligence and financial IQ. Financial IQ is extremely important as well in terms of really growing your wealth, clearing off debt, getting your spending right, and getting your mind right as well. I mean, you know the person. Watch a debt-free person in the face and watch a person in debt in the face. You could see the frustration of a person in debt. They have a
True.
harassed look.
True.
It's not a good look. It's not a good look to be in debt. You just look harassed. All right?
God.
And when you're harassed, you get desperate. And when you're desperate, you're falling for any
Yeah.
kind of quick fix that out there to try to make money fast. All right?
Yeah, and
So,
I'll add because I tend to lean towards the mindset that men get trapped in, and the truth is, especially as men, no man is ever happy when his finances are not in order. None. All right, that is something ingrained in us. I mean, because we are by nature always thinking about being the provider, having a family, this and that. So for us, when our finances are not in order, we are never in tune with ourselves at all. We go to whack. All right.
Yeah.
So this is exactly something that we need. I mean, it's for everybody. All right, not just men, not just women, it's for
Yeah.
everybody.
all right.
Definitely.
All right. Anybody on the comments have anything to share or anything to add? I mean, we kind of
Any
crossed the time a
questions?
bit. Anybody have any
Any
questions?
questions?
I haven't got normally. I'll tell you guys I have some questions for you guys. The only question I had tonight was if your budget, and I think we kind of answered it as well, where they spoke about budgeting, where they spoke about finding hidden expenses that they may have. I think you all kind of hit on different factors of it. One, writing down the information. Two, being disciplined with a record and that keeping tabs on what you're spending money on and sticking to your limits. I think if you stick to those things, simply those things, it is a lot easier for people to actually get their budgets
Yeah.
set rather than guessing, okay, this is how much I spend about this amount. Have you guys ever asked somebody, so what you spend on food for the month? And they say about, and they give
Yeah.
you about a number.
Yeah, because they don't check that. They don't
I just,
consider it.
I just always say I can't go and pay about 500 for any bill. Like
Correct.
you go to pay for a cable bill and you say, I want to pay about 300. They want the exact figure to type in. So we need to understand that finance is a precise and very exact study. It's numbers don't lie. They are very specific. So if it's 5, it's 5. If it's 10, it's 10. If it's 2, it's 2.
Correct.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie because if it's missing,
True.
right? That's the thing. I see Erlen asked how we're going to expand on this particular discussion. What area in particular you want us to expand on? Let us know in the comments, and we'll actually work on developing that for the conversation at some point.
Yeah.
So that's actually a very good question.
Yeah, I like those questions coming in. One point I wanted to bring up as well too. Don't be afraid to do a review of your budget and do some adjustments and course corrections. It's not to say that you build this budget at day one and this is the budget you're going to stick with for the next 5 or 10 years. You may realize that there may be certain things that may change in your household and you may need to tweak your budget as you go along. So like for instance, if it's just two of you all living at home and your budget for food was, let's just call it arbitrary figure. Let's just say the figure was $600 a month was the food. Children come in the mix. You can't use that $600 again for food again. That number will have to change. So you need to course correct as you go along. You may change jobs, which means that you may have to travel further. Your gas or your diesel bill is going to change as well too. So don't be afraid after 3 months or 6 months or 4 months, whatever the case may be, do a sit down, do a review
Dive
of
back
your
in.
budget, do a once over or twice over or 3 times over if you need to, and see what needs to be adjusted with respect to your budget, and see how you could move ahead as well.
Correct.
A question
And
popped up in terms of preparation for retirement, which I spoke about as well too. The same funds that you are putting aside and for your building your emergency fund, build your funds for financial freedom, build towards education, put that as well for your retirement. So I'm not here to sell pension plans and these things like that. I am not qualified to do that. I'm not going to do that. Okay, we had a person a few weeks ago that spoke about investing in these things, in terms of insurance and all these things like that. But what I could tell you is that to make sure you have for your funds based on how everything there, liquid funds put aside to deal with your retirement and everything from there. And if it is that your investments really paid off and everything like that, work towards, again, review how your finances going, review how your budget is going, and straighten up on these things as well. Person June Smith
I think
Simon said, "Do not encourage freeloaders." True.
definitely. I think when it comes to those two topics, though, guys, what about preparation? Well, preparation for retirement and investing. I think we can probably do some additional series later on those topics
yeah, you
because
can.
a lot of people, even though they may save towards retirement, a lot of people still aren't prepared for retirement. You understand? To exist after
Yeah.
they've stopped work, you know.
Stop working here.
So it is, yeah, it's a nice, it's a place to dive into to get some more education. So we can definitely look at it. And investing. I think a lot of people have no idea what to invest in, how to invest. And there's so many opportunities, but they just don't know other than trying to people what to do with their money.
Yeah, and especially since the Trinidad Stock Exchange just had their platform and all that, so it is topics that we can build on. Stanford mentioned, doing your taxes, how to get followed up properly, and I mean that by itself, there are so many things that you can do, and especially if you're investing as well, things that you can get back money on your income tax, like capital gains and all that. That there's a whole, there's a lot of things you can get into with that.
Exactly.
How to help someone who is an addict spender.
Start at step one.
What's that?
Start with step one.
Yeah,
the
correct.
first thing that we talk about.
Yeah.
Do that budget. Give them the eye opener with respect to that. You have to start with step one, definitely with respect to that one.
Definitely.
All right.
No, guys,
I
I mean, honestly, all these topics we can expand on them, and I really thankful that people are actually adding these comments in.
Coming serious.
The topics that we create for the conversation are geared towards answering your questions, so we can have this conversation in the open. So keep letting us know what you guys want to hear more of, and we can actually put that material into practice for you guys.
Correct.
Right.
I like that. As I say, I like that question that you sent earlier. I know one of the things, and I'm not going too deep into it, but what some people do, because I have a pension plan that you take with any of these financial companies, it actually is an opportunity to use that as a tax break as well. Because if it is that you have a pension plan and you say, okay, this is what you're submitting to the job, that means you're not taking out as much from your salary. You can use that towards your savings as well to build that liquid cash that you're looking at as well, or towards your income tax return if you don't want to touch that. It's some real ways that you can do that.
Yeah.
And you see, people don't know about it, but then there's also the fact that the people selling it don't always provide the full amount of information because it doesn't benefit them based on what they're trying to sell. And that is the problem I have. So that's why we encourage people to educate themselves. So when they do speak with these people and they start to spew nonsense at you, you can just watch them and let them hang themselves because you can now educate them on their own job.
School them.
Yeah.
Right? That is something as an IT professional, I always, if I help anyone, I teach them what I do. I show them specifically the steps. I explain it. So that way, if they ever have a problem and they go to another IT professional and they give them garbage, they know. They know they cannot be fooled, right? And I think that is the thing. We need to be able to share information with people to empower them, right? And to what is the word I'm looking for? To arm them
Yes.
with the right knowledge, right? So they can't be fooled out here,
Don't be
right?
fooled.
People need to share
All
the
mutual
information.
funds are
It's
not the
not about,
same.
right. It's a lot of selfishness going on. I will hold back this information from you because it wouldn't benefit what I'm trying to sell. And that is not going to help the person long term. That may
True.
end up putting them in a worse off situation. So we have to educate people so they can be armed appropriately to deal with certain things. Right? And all this we are saying tonight with dealing with finances and literacy and doing your finance makeover is so that things don't start to feel like a sacrifice all the time.
Oh gosh,
And I
yeah.
know a lot of people fall into that feeling, oh gosh, this again, you trying to make ends meet, but trying to make which end? The end? Stop trying to meet the end. We don't want it to always feel like a sacrifice at the end of the day.
I've never understood that statement, making ends meet.
Well, that is the thing, is the end itself. They're making the end meet. The end of
Yeah,
whatever
killing
they have
yourself.
left. That is the problem. Right? So we don't want things to become a burden and a sacrifice. I know we've all been there at some point during some tough financial situation. We had more month than money. We probably borrowed money and we got caught in a cycle of borrowing to pay off, so that we could try to, and then hopefully along the way we made some money somewhere to catch on. No, we don't want that happening to people. We want people to come out of that space. All right, and we're talking about sacrificing now. We're talking about how to budget and stuff appropriately. But the one key thing that we mentioned tonight, you see that financial freedom fund. This is where we will go from what you call it, a deduction mindset into a production mindset.
Yes.
Right?
Definitely.
And when you become productive, you find the resources. They come. Right? But if you only stuck in that space and you don't put aside that money, that paper, that guap for your financial freedom account, we touched on it, and that is the reason why. So you can move from just budgeting and emergency fund and saving into where you increase the income, so you could actually fill up those jars even more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right?
It all takes discipline. It definitely
Correct.
takes discipline. All right, guys. I know we went over the time, and we are so happy and grateful for all the comments and for persons contributing on the line. We really appreciate it so much in terms of persons putting in the comments and really chatting about it. Yeah, I mean, the main thing that we try to do is to really bring relevant and good content to the population at large. All right. We may not have all the ultimate answers ourselves, but again, this is what the conversation about, where we can actually chat and let's see how we can help each other grow in terms of what we can do. So guys, thank you all very much. Thanks for all the persons that have been tuning in there. I mean, we have persons from Point Fortin and Rima, even all over the place, boy. All over the place. Yeah, people even watching their sip your tea there, Wilson. All kind of thing going on there.
Gotta keep it minty, man.
Right. For October, we have some special items that we're gonna be dealing with in the month of October. So stay tuned for that. We know that October is also the month that deals with breast cancer. All right, so we're gonna be dealing with some items within there as well too. We're gonna have a couple of persons coming on the conversation as well as special guests. So to be able to
touch on that one time on which will be the first Tuesday in October, right? We're gonna have a guest, Candice Pierce Suklal. She is the founder of the Faith Fight Foundation, which is a non-profit that deals with breast cancer as well. She herself is a breast cancer survivor, and she's also a mother, right? And she's going to be here to give us a story as well as tell us. I think a lot of people we don't understand how important it is to actually even finance and time towards charitable events and non-profit stuff, giving back and that kind of thing. And she's going to talk to us a bit about how we can actually give back to the foundation as well to help them in their efforts to help women with breast cancer as well, right? I think every time we hear stories about like this, it makes us realize that as human beings we are so vulnerable, and as humanity we have to come together to help each other as well. So I'm really looking forward to that and to all the other things we have planned for the month of October as well.
All right. So, guys,
Cool.
as much as possible, um, like the page, follow in terms of everything that we have here.
Share the
Put
page.
it at the top of your notifications so you are notified as soon as these events are occurring. So you can share this as well with persons. As I said, don't just not it's not only to share on the night for the night, but start sharing the invite as well too for again family, friends, enemy, frenemies. Share it out. All right. Make sure that persons are connected so we can tune into the conversation. So, guys,
All right.
again, thank you all very much for tuning in. Until next week, again, we'll be connecting. So, thank you all very much and see you then. You all take care. Bye bye.
Good night.
Guys, have a good one.